Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 541 of the lockdown. I hope you're all surviving well. And before we start, I'd like to thank a few people that have been helping me with these devotions and these sermons. I'd like to thank Dorcas, and I'd like to thank Francois, and I'd like to thank Luke, and I'd like to thank Hindu for the awesome work that they're doing in the preparation and the preparing of these devotions and sermons. It takes a lot of time and energy, and I want to tell you that they really do it with love. So thanks to you all. So our scripture today tells the story of three guys walking home after the crucifixion. And the story of the road to Emmaus is the first of three resurrection appearances found in the book of Luke. We are told that two men are traveling on the road to Emmaus just after the crucifixion of Jesus, and as they're walking along, a third guy joins them. And as they go along discussing the life of Jesus of Nazareth, and how he may still be alive after his tomb was found empty, this third guy that's walking with them seems not to know what they're talking about. So they explain it all to him. So when they get to Emmaus, the third guy makes as if he's going to be continuing on his journey, and the other two convince him to stay and to join them for supper. They then realize that this guy is Jesus himself, as he broke bread and blessed it. Jesus then vanished, and the two men returned to Jerusalem, where they pronounced to the 11 disciples that the Lord has risen. Now verse 15 and 16 of this scripture reads as follows. As they walked and discussed these things with each other, Jesus himself came up and walked along with them, but they were kept from recognizing him. How could these disciples on the road to Emmaus not recognize Jesus? They were returning from Jerusalem, where Jesus had been arrested, tried, tortured, crucified, and buried. And now his body was gone, amid weird rumors flying around that he had risen from the grave. Now, just a week earlier, they probably walked with Jesus as he rode that colt into Jerusalem. They had hoped that he would declare himself king and take up the throne, the ancient throne of David. But instead, he was arrested, sentenced, and then crucified. And now they heard people talking of an empty tomb and a missing body. So as they wandered home to Emmaus, they wondered about what might have been. What if Jesus was the Messiah? What if he had brought that peace to the world that he was preaching about? What about that place that he promised to prepare for us? And what about that love that he showed to the least and the worst of society? Where could they ever expect to experience that again? It all seemed such a waste. So when Jesus joined them on the road to Emmaus, they didn't recognize him. They must have wondered who this person was who didn't seem to know what had happened in Jerusalem. So they explained it to him as they were walking along. So at this point, we can say that those two disciples were in the dark, since Jesus hadn't revealed himself to them yet. So they had to spend time with him. They had to get to know him before they recognized him as the risen Christ. We know that Jesus rose from the grave, yet he can still live in the dark, but yet we can still live in the dark about his presence. Or sometimes maybe even ignore him. Walking that resurrection road is still challenging today, even. Living consciously and intentionally in Jesus' presence is a daily challenge. We so easily miss the reality of Christ with us. Yet this is our hope, that Christ is with us, whether we recognize him or not. So don't intentionally ignore him. Look for him. Our Emmanuel, our God with us, who walks with us, who is forever with us. Seek him. God just loves having a relationship with us. That relationship that Jesus bought for us with his blood on the cross that day. So may you constantly be aware of Jesus at your side as we pass through this difficult time. May we recognize him for who he is, and may he take our hand and lead us. Amen. Let us pray. Jesus Christ, Emmanuel, we easily fail to appreciate your presence in our life today. Open our eyes and our hearts to see you with us